Okay, in this video we're going to look at the Cobra firing system and also the MJG firewire initiators, which are the equipment that we will be using to ignite the show or to discharge the show. So the Cobra firing system is made up of a combination of a controller or a remote control called the 18R2 and then various modules. So we'll first look at the controller. This controller holds the script that we talked about before that it's each individual cue at the appropriate time. So it sends that script through transmits it out to each individual module. So one way to look at the controller is it's like it's your air traffic controller telling everything what to do at the specific time it's supposed to do it. So the modules are out there. They're the ones, they're the piece of equipment that the fireworks are attached to through an electronic wire device called a firewire initiator. They receive the signal from the controller and then send an electric current through the firewire initiator to ignite the firework. So there's different types of modules, but each module contains a unique channel. In this case, channel 0 through 99. Each channel contains 18 cues. And you'll kind of see as we talk about the different various types here. The one pictured here on the right, you can see it's a Cobra 18M module. So this module contains one channel and 18 cues. You'll also find that we are using a 36M module. And you may have kind of guessed this, it contains two channels. They're identified by bank A and bank B, and it contains 36 cues, 18 cues per channel. And then there is also a 72M module. This contains four channels identified as bank A, B, C, and D, and there are 72 cues, which are 18 cues per channel. So the Cobra module, it's basically set up as each channel module contains 18 cues, so it makes it kind of uniform throughout all the different various types of modules they have. Despite them being kind of set up differently in various ways, they all perform in a very similar manner. So now let's look at the MJG firewire initiators. So these are what are connected into the module and connect the module to the firework. One thing I'm going to bring up, kind of a safety thing, these are very sensitive. They're sensitive to friction, impact, and they only need less than 1 amp to discharge, so please be careful with them. I've seen a video on YouTube of a well-known pyrotechnician in the pyrotechnic industry that shares his experience with one of these being set off just with a static electric shock in a seminar that he was doing. And so these are consumer rated igniters, but they still need to be treated the same as igniters that are controlled by the ATF. So just keep that in mind that these are sensitive. When you get there to help set up, one thing I'm working on right now and will be every day is getting an MJG installed into every single firework effect so that it's already installed and ready to be plugged into the modules when we're setting up. Okay, so the biggest tasks that we'll have out there is that you will wire the free end or the connector type. There's either, if you remember, there's the two types. There's the standard, which have the two wires, or a quick plug, which is just a plastic piece that you'll plug into the module. Oh, yeah, here we go. Standard two-wire connection or a quick plug connection. So, yeah, I got ahead of myself. So just to kind of some of the anatomy of these MJG fire wires initiators, there's the match head. That's the pyrotechnic compound that will ignite when the electric current goes through. And The shroud is a red plastic cap that covers. In this picture, it's pulled back away from it, so you can see the match head. But that shroud is usually pulled and covers the match head. And then you have your end connector. Again, we talked about there being two types. There's just the standard wire connector, which is two bare wires on the end, or quick plug that will plug in to the module. Now there will be times, many times, where you're going to have to cut that quick plug connector off, because all of the igniters I have for the show are the quick plug connector style. And so if the module doesn't receive a quick plug, we'll have to cut that quick plug off and strip back some wires so that we can plug it in. I'll basically convert it to a standard wire connector. So that's the purpose of the wire cutters. So that will be an important piece of equipment that you bring with you on the day of the show. Okay, one thing I will point out, and again, all the FireWire initiators should be installed into the fireworks the day of. But if for some reason one comes out, or you're asked to install one of these, never pull back the shroud to expose the match head. It's a best practice. Obviously, there are people who will do that, but for the sake of this setup, this show, please don't pull back the shroud to expose the match head. As we talked about, they're very sensitive to friction and other things. Impact, friction, and heat. So please just keep the shroud over the match head. Okay, next we'll look at wiring up, how to wire up these modules in the next video. Thanks.